Right on.
Okay.
All right.
Segment 3.
Segment 3. Dio-Holy Diver. Dio's Holy Diver comes in at number 163 in the 1980s on Best
Can
Ever
you
Albums.
say it as Holy Diver, or do you have to say it as
Holy Diver?
Yes, you kind of have to say it. Yeah.
Yeah, 163 in the 1980s, number 16 in 1983, number 1052 of all time. It is Dio's highest rated album on Best Ever Albums, and Dio comes in number 657 of overall artist rankings. And yeah, we have another Josh special here, and this is another real easy listen for me. It's the way I like metal. This is, it's going to be interesting because I think we're doing Metallica next week, which is not really like this. That's more of that thrash metal and kind of getting faster and more aggressive.
Not that Metallica isn't.
Not that album. Yeah,
that's not faster. Okay.
No, I'm saying not that. No, I was saying that album is not like this album.
No, right.
Like
that's
later
what I'm saying.
Metallica tries to, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
no, that's right.
Yes,
I'm talking about it in the terms of the early Metallica stuff, which we are going to cover next week. And I think for me, and I don't really know Kill 'Em All, so it'll be interesting for me to compare that, with something like this, or Iron Maiden. But this is the type of metal that I like. This is that nuwaba, it's very melodic, right? It's got great guitar.
Akin to your hair metal too.
And yes, exactly. This is way better. Like, in listening to something like this, and I guess the Sabbath album that Dio did, the one that you and I covered, Josh, but also. Yeah, and also, like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, kind of all a little bit in this lane. A kind of, you could hear elements of the over-the-top hair metal type thing, but all of this stuff is way better than that. I have several hair metal albums. It was one of the first things I got into musically. I had those tapes, and listening to some of those, over the recent years, there's tons of filler and just bad songs. There's no bad songs on this. This is a great rock metal album. Dio's voice is right up there, maybe with the best type of metal voice, that the soaring vocals, the dramatic kind of and
can hit the high notes.
Oh, you sure can. And there's just great riffs throughout here. It's dramatic, it's over the top, it's there's like there's the religious undertones, there's the mythological kind of Lord of the Rings type stuff going on in here.
The album cover is great.
Yeah, I was about to say, we talk about this album cover, which is freaking fantastic.
What the hell is it? It's like.
Do you want to describe this album cover, Josh? Like what we're seeing?
Like
Go ahead.
So it's like a story background on a cliffside, and there's like a demon with a chain whip, and he's drowning a priest, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
or whipping a priest. That's
I think he's whipping a priest. Is what I see.
The priest is drowning. But I like the I knew a couple of songs on here. I think I knew Holy Diver. I knew Rainbow in the Dark Scott is great too. That's my
favorite song on here.
He throws in, and in that song he's throwing in some of there's a little synth kind of going on, which is a little different. You've got the dramatic, the beginning of "Don't Talk to Strangers," where they whisper, "Don't talk to strangers."
That was fun.
Yeah, it is. It's over the top. It's fun. It's kick-ass, like guitar solos, and it's very showy. It's like, let's just show off the chops here, and it's just a straight up nuwaba metal album. So I liked it quite a bit. It brought me back to my childhood a little bit, and made me wish, man, I wish I knew more of this stuff. I wish this was the stuff that I was listening to, because it's way better than like Slaughter and even like the Motley Crue stuff, because Motley Crue's got some really bad stuff on their records, and this was a fun listen from top to bottom. So I'm thumbs up on it. I like this stuff.
Well, this is the shit that 13-year-old me was listening to, Matt. So this is like right in that wheelhouse. Like, this is right up there with, like you said, the new wave of British heavy metal bands. Josh is absolutely right. There's elements of more accomplished hair metal in this, but yeah, it's got the triple guitar attacks at times. It's got a little bit of synth. It's got Dio breaking the scale, like building up to these epic choruses. It's got all the riffs, the riffs. This is like such a riffy album along the way. I can remember when I was growing up, and we were thinking about at the time I used to be a I used to be a part of I wouldn't even call it a band. We used to just sing songs to get into places for free, right? A couple of us, and we just thought about songs we would cover, right? And then there was like, we would do these rehearsals, and there's songs you'd cover, and then there's songs you never would actually cover, but just for cracking ourselves up, we'd play these songs to see what it would sound like. And Rainbow in the Dark was a staple of what we would cover. And I can remember, we would alternate between the different instruments at different times, but I would always go to the front. And I just remember one of the funnest things is that part where you try to do the part where at the end it's like, da, like he just hangs on forever and just like lets it go. And there's just so many of those vocal tricks that are fun. But yeah, this is another album in that cotton candy realm. I'd say it's just it's a little more substantive than that, because there's the riffs, there's the soul, it can evoke emotion, so it's a little bit more than that. But this is a feel good album. It's as Josh always mentions, it's a great workout album.
Yes.
It's the type of album that you put it on and you feel like you can slay a demon, or I guess drown a priest in a mythical lake, whatever floats your boat, I guess, along the way. But yeah, I mean, this also falls in the category Matt and I have talked about, like, if you don't like this album, I wonder a little bit about you, and like, are you, like, I would want to know, like, what is it you don't like about this album? And I guess you could say it's not challenging enough or whatever, but it's hard for me to believe if you like guitars and Western pop music,
right,
that,
I mean, even if you don't like louder music or have, it's still super melodic, like that's more of a
is it
universal
evolving
thing
the culture or pushing it no, but like, is the purpose of this type of metal to do that? No, this type of metal is designed to just be played as loud as possible in a variety of contexts, whether it be in a basement somewhere or
working
being
on
covered
your car
later, or working on your car, driving around at 11 o'clock at night and going to Wendy's, to pick something up. It's so versatile, like what you can use this for. Like, I guess feeling up your like first girlfriend at 14 in the Dodge Commander or something.
It really is the Swiss Army knife of metal.
That's what I was gonna say. We could go through about 100 different scenarios where like Rainbow in the Dark could be playing in the background. So it's gimmicky, but gimmicky in all the fun ways that like metal, is. Going back to like Alice Cooper, right? And
Kiss too. We haven't mentioned them. I think that this feeling of the album is kind of indebted to their aesthetic. I mean,
the roots of the sound, go back to Alice Cooper and Kiss. And that's why almost every metal band, no matter how serious or how hard, right, always talks about how much they love Alice Cooper. And every single freaking metal band, no matter who they are, has a Kiss cover. And people, like, I think who don't listen to metal, like, don't get it, but like every metalhead gets it, even if they don't like love Kiss. They're the ultimate gateway drug for this type of sound. So
it's kind of a you guys have said pretty much everything I was going to say. It's just it's just simple, like, straight ahead, solid 80s metal of the time. And it's almost like you could play bingo with this album, because it kind of captures all of the different ideas that metal likes to dabble in, like, the demons and like spirituality, or like the mysticism of it, and like the darkness, but it's like tongue-in-cheek darkness. And it's funny to me, like, listening to this, how people got so bent out of shape in the 80s about like metal corrupting and like worshiping Satan. It seems to me like it's so apparent that it's not to be taken seriously, and it's not like trying to espouse. It knows, Dio knows what he's doing, and is just trying to like have fun, and it seems so apparent listening to the album. And with Holy Diver, with like the wind blowing, and this gets back to Sabbath too, right? Like they kind of started all of this, like
and solo Ozzy. This is continuation of Blizzard of Oz, like Ozzy.
There's some great drum fills in this, especially on like Holy Diver. I noticed that as well. We didn't mention the drums. It's just solid all around. And also
cascading drums would be how there's a lot of cascading drum sound in this, by the way, and like booming fills. That would be like obvious, very obvious, but very booming fills, which is not a knock. Just one
of the other themes that metal likes to dabble in is like love or dangerous love or kind of like borderline sexuality, like with Gypsy and Don't Talk to Strangers or Straight to the Heart. Like it's just fun, and you know, don't listen to the lyrics too hard because they're not really like meant to be analyzed, but they're fun to listen to. So yeah, I like this one as well.
This calls for a little bit of John's lyric time right here. So
Okay.
from Gypsy, okay?
Yes.
So I'm gonna give you two different ones to do it. Well, I was on the tree, just me, and just about to sail when I heard the voice said you got a choice, the hammer or the nail. And then I'll also give you, well, I rolled the bones to see who'd own my mind and what's within, and it's a given rule that we're all fools but need to have a little sin, baby. So there you go.
Yep, that's it in a nutshell. It's not Keats or or Shelley, but it's
Keats or Yeats by your side, like Morrissey style, yeah.
But it's great.
Hey, I'm just seeing her too. You know, the guitarist is Vivian Campbell. Do you know
Who's
who
that?
he is? He's
No.
he's
Twisted Sister?
No,
No.
no. He replaced Steve Clark and Def Leppard. He's the Def Leppard
Oh,
guitarist
wow,
now.
okay.
He joined Def Leppard in '92, and he also played. Looks like he also played with Thin Lizzy, so and Whitesnake,
Wow.
and yeah, he's been all over the place. So
Journeyman.
I just saw him a couple months ago play with Def Leppard. Yep.
You should have
What's
shouted
left
out
of Def
Holy Diver.
Leppard.
I didn't know he was in Dio.
Yeah.
He's like, that's 5 bands ago. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I don't think we've heard metal incorporate the synth that much yet until we heard Rainbow in the Dark. I don't think
Well, like
Iron
Mr.
Maiden's done that
Crowley.
necessarily.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Crowley had it right.
This is like 80s synth though. It's like real like yeah.
Yeah.
So that's being incorporated, and that was
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
On my 0 to 60 list and stuff, this is like the definition of a 50, right? It can't go
Yeah.
higher than a 50 because it doesn't transcend, and I think to get in that range, you have to do something that, you know, moves it forward, but
Yep.
it can't go any lower than like a 47, right? Because it's just too enjoyable. So yeah, this would be that lane for me. So
Collector's Guide to Heavy Metal gave it a 10 out of 10.
I mean, it's not wrong. So
Yeah,
within this
I mean,
genre.
it's probably essential in some ways.
I don't know. Some Sputnik Music gave it 5 stars.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
but other
Essential
than
if you're a 13 to 17-year-old kid who likes sick riffs and big, you know, guitars and doesn't want to
He
think
wants
too
to
hard.
do
So, yeah.
air karate.
Yeah, just like we said, we should have a list of like 100 things you could do while listening to Holy Diver by Dio. So, yeah.
Hilarious.
There you go.